Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Paige Whitehouse, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Joe DeLuca, who is the co-founder and facilitator for Melody Minds. Melody Minds is a non-medical service that focuses on creative expression, catharsis, and fun. There are many inherent benefits in creating music and art, including boosting emotional, cognitive, physical, and spiritual health. As artists, they appreciate the power of art and endless fun that can be had playing with ideas. They offer workshops at their studios in Grimsby and St. Catharines. Additionally, they travel to group homes, agencies, long-term care facilities, and also offer select activities online. They're also available for special events. Most of their fellow artists look forward to participating in the community. Thank you for joining us today, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For our first question today, tell us a little bit more about you and what inspired you to co-establish Melody Minds and why work with individuals with disabilities.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a long story, but over the past, I would say like 10 or 11 years, I've been working in the community as a rehab support person. So I went through school to become an OTA and PTA, so occupational therapy and physio. And I just sort of, in my work that I've been doing, I started seeing a lot of people that were kind of interested in art and music and had uh, sort of written it off, I would say, just because of things that had happened to them. Specifically, I've been working with the brain injury community. So, but I just kept seeing it coming up over and over again. Music, art, an interest in it, but not that many opportunities to kind of re-engage with that part of themselves. So I just started thinking, like, well, what can we do to help bring that part of life back to some people? And so I just started thinking about it. And one of my friends, Pat, who is my co-facilitator and founder, he's a drummer and also a support person that was working with community living. So it seemed like a good fit. I've known him for many, many years, since high school. And I just thought, well, could we team up and create something new for people? And we arrived where we are today. So that's sort of the Cole's Notes version of how it all started.
And I saw that you have a couple of services that you offer. Can you tell us a little bit more about those services?
Sure. So we have a number of programs that we run. One of the first ones that we started was the band program. So that just comes from our experience playing live music in bands over the years. We've both been musicians since high school. So our idea was to kind of bring that authentic experience of being in a band to people that may not otherwise uh, be able to. Um, yeah, so that is the first one. We just strive to make it authentic experience. We know what it's all about, having been in bands ourselves. So the bands will get together, name their band, pick their songs, decide what instruments they would like to work on or play, um, and then sort of come up with art ideas, make different merchandise things. We've made posters, uh, t-shirts, and things like that, and those can be sold at their live shows that they do. So we sell that merchandise, and then whatever money we have left over, they come up with a local organization to donate to. So there's a lot of moving parts in there, but that was the first thing we'd come up with. We also do a podcast. Right now, we have two individuals that do podcasts. One is Elise. Her podcast name is All Things Haunted, Horrifying, and Hellish. It's just a kind of a creepy, spooky kind of podcast about the occult and weird and interesting things. And then we have a guy named Ben who does a podcast called The Punch Up with Ben Posavad. So he's a huge sports fan, never runs out of ideas for segments on sports. So that's a fun one to do as well. Then we have a comic book program. That's our newest thing that we do. So basically, what we do is we get together with a group of up to 4 people, and we we sit around and we come up with story ideas. The guys and girls come up with the plots, the characters, things that happen like that. They write the script for the thing, plan out all the frames, and then what we do is we take an AI program called Midjourney, and we go into there and we generate all the art. So there's a whole process of picking out kind of the aesthetic style. Everyone gets a say as to what they like the best. Maybe they want to edit something, we do that as well. Generate all the art for the ideas and the plan that we've made, and then we take that all and we put it into a comic book editing program. So we lay out all the frames. They can come up with sound effects for things, and just as we go along, we go frame by frame and figure out how they want to lay it all out. So that's been a ton of fun as well. So we have two comic book series going right now. The first one is called The Wolf Pack. That's with my group. We have Tyler, Evan, Curtis, and Kenny, and they've come up with these amazing stories, and they're up to their sixth story right now. So in the new year, we'll be going on to the seventh one, which is kind of crazy to me. That's continuing to go. I think at some point they're planning on doing like a graphic novel of it. So it'll be really cool to see sort of where it goes. Also, the community has been supportive of it as well. Norm from Mostly Comics in St. Catharines has got on board, so they're available to buy at his shop. It's on St. Paul West, not St. Paul West, St. Paul in St. Catharines. So that's that. And then Pat has recently started up a group with Elise and a guy named Mario, and their comic book series is called Defenders of the Overworld. So that's a whole new story, which happens to have a wolf character in it, which I think presents some interesting crossover opportunities for Wolfpack and that whole universe coming together. So that's a lot of fun. What else do we have going on? Our trivia program, which is Minds to It Trivia. It's like a fun and wacky Jeopardy style online trivia game. So there are hosts. We have a volunteer that comes in, the guy I've been working with for many years now, and he'll do the sound effects. So we have everything sort of routed through our computer. He can trigger sort of context dependent sound effects. So if someone gets a question right, he can trigger applause, or someone's taking a little too long to pick a question, maybe he'll cue the crickets, and everyone laughs and has a great time. Stuff like that. But that's a ton of fun as well. And then I think the last thing we have is adapted music lessons. So if someone's interested in going a little further into depth about learning a specific instrument or making electronic music, they can come in and do those sessions as well. So we're just trying to kind of build out, and as things come up, we're open to adding new ideas and things like that, because everything that we kind of currently do has been inspired by someone that we know or have met. And we've decided, like with the comic book program, for example, there's this Curtis who is a huge comic book fan, and then this new technology is coming out, and I'm thinking like, well, Curtis is a big comic book fan, and can we not make a comic book now? Is this possible? So we just try it out, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did work. So we kept that on, and everyone has a ton of fun doing it, getting together and hanging out, and that's kind of the philosophy behind everything that we do. But yeah.
That's awesome. And I know you're saying that you teach some music instruments. Which instruments do you teach?
For myself, I do stringed instruments, so guitar, ukulele, bass. Also, if people want to get into making like electronic music, we can do that with the program that we have on our computer. So making songs that are loop based, or a combination of live playing and stuff like that. Yeah, so the electronic and the strings. We also have some I guess, adaptive instruments that we can teach people with, which are the theremin and the oscillator. They're just synthesizer type instruments. The theremin is cool because you don't actually have to touch it to play it. There's like an antenna on the right side of the instrument where you kind of move your hand towards it or whatever you have, and the pitch will change according to how close you are to the antenna. And then Pat, on the other hand, does drumming stuff with people. So we kind of cover a few bases with that.
And are there any restrictions to the services at Melody Minds, such as age, disability type, caregivers, or family members only, things of that nature?
No restrictions. There's no previous experience with this stuff required. Just sort of an enthusiasm and passion for music or art, and that's about it. And we'll work with people sort of where they're at and adjust things how we do things just based on whoever walks through the door.
Without using any names, can you share a success story with me? What supports were put into place when someone asked for help?
Sure, let me think about that. Um, yeah, so one guy that we work with had a hard time, I would say, engaging just in new things, just based on some of the limitations that he had as a result of sort of his disability. So I think just like opening up the door to him and allowing him to come in, and uh, he has sort of a limited verbal ability. So knowing him and allowing him to come in and sort of participate in a way that made sense for him allowed him to kind of get his ideas out uh, and participate in the whole process of making something new. Uh, that would be a success story, I would say, just because he was very reluctant to try new things. But just having patience and allowing him to come in and be part of a group and contribute things, and this was where I would come into play as well as using visual aids and things like that to help him make decisions on a project that we're working on. And I think that really went a long way towards just him feeling good about himself.
Hmm.
Uh, and so, yeah, that would be one particular success story that I would be proud of that, I would say.
That's awesome. Does he have any favorite projects that he's working on right now?
Yeah, the comic stuff for sure. Looking forward to it all the time. I wish we could run it like constantly, but it's just the amount of work that goes into it. You kind of have to have a little bit of downtime in between. Um, but yeah, like totally looking forward to it. Yeah, super proud of him for what he has contributed so far, and I can't even imagine what's coming up next.
Is there somewhere where we could check out the comic books that you guys make?
Yeah, we actually do have them. We we print 25 copies each time, and then they're available through us, or if you wanted to go to a physical location, you can go to Norm at Mostly Comics and just ask for Wolfpack, and you'll be able to go and get a copy there. And they're $10 to buy, and as with every other merch item that we have, uh, the money that is left over will go back to something that the creators want to support.
And what is the one thing you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be, and how do we stop it?
Yeah, I think maybe just taking away some of like the agency that a person has. Like that's sort of our whole philosophy, is like letting people have something for themselves. Like we're just there to facilitate the process. We're not saying, like, for example, if we have a band, like, well, you got to play this song, that song. Don't play your instrument that way. That's not really correct. Um, just let people kind of express themselves in a way that makes sense for them. Like uh in some of our bands, some of our guys might just dance. So, and that's fine. That's part of the performance, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and we're not trying to prescribe a certain way of doing it. We're just there to kind of, help steer the ship, and then we will ask questions, we'll prompt people, and then we'll take what they give us, and then uh, help put it together in some way or another that everyone agrees on. So just, letting people be really truly a part of the process and have something that they can actually have ownership in. I find like sometimes that's taken away from people, which is a shame. So we're trying to kind of go the opposite direction there.
And I know you were talking about your podcast earlier. I also saw that you have one called the Melody Minds podcast. Can you tell us a little bit more about that one?
Yeah. So that, I guess that's just sort of like another like umbrella term for the other segments. Like we've sort of started separating them out now. So we've got um, Ben's and Elisa's, and then we had another guy named Sean. He had one called Sean's Corner. So we sort of were doing like one long episode, but I think now we're kind of breaking them into parts just to kind of make them their own thing. But it's really the same sort of project, just a different name for it.
And is there anywhere we can listen to the podcast?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. So if you were to search Melody Minds Creative, you can come up with our channel, and we've got all our podcast episodes, past and present, on there.
And are there any events coming up for Melody Minds? And is the general public invited? And where can you get tickets if they are?
Yeah, actually, funny you mentioned that. Tomorrow we have a show at Teddy's in Grimsby. It's on Main Street, just in the downtown there, and it's free to get in. Uh, and we're on from 6 to 7:30. We'll also have our merch table in the back, manned by Kenny. He's one of the comic book creators, and a couple of the people we know from the community will be helping out. So yeah, I would say come on down. It's always a great time. We're having 4 bands play. There's the Army of Avengers, Coalition, Funky Monkeys, and our super group called the Consequences. So always a great time. Definitely it'll make you feel good going into the holidays. So if you're out there and available, come on in. It's free to get in.
That's awesome. Is it all holiday music or is it all just different genres plus holiday music tomorrow?
It's actually we don't really do too many holiday songs, but it's all rock and roll, and it's based on sort of each group and their musical tastes. We do have a couple oddball Christmas songs that we throw in, but we figure people hear enough of Jingle Bell Rock on the radio, so we try to throw something different.
Are they all original or are they also covered songs as well?
Yeah, these are all covers, but that is another thing we're working on with some of our bands is writing original music. So hopefully next year we'll be getting more into that.
And if someone wanted to become a member or volunteer with Melody Minds, what is the process for joining as a member or volunteer?
If you wanted to join any one of our programs, what you do is you just give us a call. You can call me at 289-260-1217, or send us an email. I think it's on our website, contact@melodyminds.ca, or joe@melodyminds.ca, pat@melodyminds.ca. Uh, yeah, you can find our contacts on the website, or I think on our Instagram as well. And if you wanted to volunteer, same process. Just get in touch with us, whichever way makes sense for you, through Instagram or email or phone.
And what is the one thing that everyone needs to know about Melody Minds?
We're all about having fun and making cool stuff together and kind of thinking outside the box. So if that fits into your philosophy, then definitely come and work with us.
And if listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
I would say just shoot us an email. So joe@melodyminds.ca.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us today, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great.
You've been listening to a Community Partners interview on Voices for Ability Radio. I'm your host, Paige Whitehouse. Until next time, have a grand day.